Hello everybody and welcome to this brand new episode of Indie Zombie Vlog Review. I'm Jordan. Today I'll be talking about two titles, WIldfire and Monster Sanctuary. WIldfire is a simple action-adventure stealth game where you get this ability to be able to control and manipulate fire. And eventually you obviously get some other elemental abilities. I got about as far as getting to control water. And being able to control these is fun, but you just can't actually create it, which kind of sucks. But as the game goes on, you do get more ways to be able to use it, but you have to accomplish certain goals by obviously getting points by achieving these goals. What's pretty interesting is that depending on how you interact with the level or how you decide to progress through the level, like you can go pure stealth, you can go pure action, and depending on if you decide to go pure action, the level will obviously change, like you'll lose, spots to be able to hide from the enemies, or even really be able to fight the enemies, because other than that, you have no real way to actually fight the enemies. Like, I don't like how when you actually have fire and you throw it at them, it won't ignite them unless they're standing in the bushes that you ignite, or anything like that, or if they're standing on a bridge and they happen to fall from a very high height, but as long as if there's no water beneath them, otherwise they'll be fine. But you can at least change their position, so, because thankfully they can't, get back to where you were. And thankfully, like, if you do decide to destroy the entire area, you're not gonna severely punish yourself in being able to progress through the level. Like, you're not going to lose access to vines, you can still swim, you can jump pretty large gaps, but after a while, some of the side quests obviously get a little bit harder in terms of being able to, earn additional points by going through levels using pure stealth, trying to guide or protect hostages, or being able to rescue hostages and whatnot. Because obviously levels are designed in very specific ways. I do like that they obviously give you the options to go either way or even try and mix it up, but it does obviously make it pretty tricky. I did like this, but it got a little bit too challenging for me. I would definitely give this a big recommendation if you're into this sort of thing, a mix of action and stealth, and obviously a tad little bit of puzzle solving where you obviously have to plan ahead. So, definitely a recommendation. Next up is Monster Sanctuary. This is very Pokemon, just with the difference of the fact that you can have 3 monsters out at a time, you can collect as many as you want, but what I kind of don't like is that when it comes to some of the battle systems, as you learn it, obviously it's best to focus on, using what your enemy is obviously weak against. But when you have so many monsters, and it's the fact that you're never really positive as to what type your monsters actually are, like it never really outright says, like, oh, like this is an earth grass type, or oh, this is a water grass. I mean, it can be fairly obvious, with your starting monster that you get. I went with the fire type, and level progression feels a tad slow, having access to so many monsters. But so how you also get new monsters is also dependent on how well you do in a fight, meaning how quickly you end it and whatnot. You'll get a monster ring. That's the only way so far in which to get a brand new monster, excuse me. And I will admit, I kinda like, but don't like how even when you have monsters that aren't fighting, they can still earn experience, but obviously it's not, deterring, how much one gets over the other. Everybody obviously gets a fair share of experience. But I did find it a tad annoying how later on there were obviously monsters that had more better abilities that were able to hit your entire party or even affect your entire party, whereas you know, it doesn't... I mean, I'm not even sure if you do get to that point where you do unlock abilities that can strike an entire enemy party or anything like that. It is nice to obviously be able to have, you know, different types of monsters, you know, monsters that can heal or inflict buffs or negative buffs against enemies and whatnot, but after a while, and I played both these games for quite a few hours. I think I played WIldfire for probably 4 or 5, and Monster Sanctuary for about the same time. I wanted to make sure I got as far into it as I could. Also, you know, the RPG element with picking up new items and new weapons to give to your monsters to improve their stats and whatnot. I mean, that's kind of cool, but feels kind of arbitrary. This was kind of fun at first, but then it just got really tedious after a while. If you do have any interest in this, I'm sure maybe somebody else would enjoy this a lot more than I did. I do enjoy Pokemon, but I just really wasn't enjoying this really all that much. Anyway, you know, let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.